The vast expanse of space stretched before Captain Sarah Chen as she stood on the bridge of the HSS Challenger, her eyes fixed on the distant stars that sparkled like diamonds against the infinite black. The experimental warship hummed softly beneath her feet, its revolutionary quantum drive barely making a sound, a far cry from the thunderous engines of conventional human vessels. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of anticipation that hung in the recycled air. Lieutenant Marcus Rivera looked up from his console, his dark eyes reflecting the soft blue glow of the holographic displays. "The Zarkax fleet will enter the Arcturus sector in approximately 6 hours, Captain. 17 warships, including their flagship." Chen nodded, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. The aliens had been pushing deeper into human space for months, their superior numbers and advanced technology making them increasingly bold. They dismissed humanity's attempts at resistance as primitive and futile, particularly the Challenger, which they'd mockingly referred to as a primitive transport vessel in their latest transmissions. "They still think we're running silent because we're weak," Commander David Walsh observed from his tactical station. "Their intel suggests this ship is nothing more than an oversized freighter retrofitted with basic weapons." "Let them think that," Chen replied, running her hand along the smooth surface of her command chair. The Challenger was humanity's best-kept secret, a quantum-powered warship that appeared deceptively simple on the outside. Its true power lay in the revolutionary Cascade weapon system, controlled amplitude subatomic cascade array displacement engine. The bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency, each member aware of the historic nature of their mission. They were about to test an unproven weapon against the most formidable alien fleet humanity had ever encountered. The air tasted metallic, tinged with the familiar mix of anxiety and determination that preceded every major battle. "Engineering reports, Cascade is at optimal charge," announced Lieutenant Emma Santos, her fingers dancing across her console. "All safety protocols are green." Chen took a deep breath, feeling the subtle vibrations of the ship through her boots. The Challenger represented years of secret research, countless sacrifices, and humanity's unwavering determination to survive. Its unique design allowed it to appear weak and unthreatening, until the moment it wasn't. "Begin Operation Trojan," she ordered, her voice carrying across the bridge with quiet authority. "Plot an intercept course that makes us look like we're trying to avoid them. Let's give them exactly what they expect, a human ship running scared." The crew acknowledged her commands with practiced precision. The Challenger's engines powered up slightly, maintaining the illusion of a struggling vessel while masking its true capabilities. On the main viewer, long-range sensors tracked the approaching Zarkax fleet, their ships moving in perfect formation, utterly confident in their superiority. "They're taking the bait," Walsh reported, a hint of satisfaction in his voice. "Their lead vessels are adjusting course to intercept. They're not even bothering to mask their approach vectors." Chen smiled grimly. The Zarkax pride would be their undoing. They'd grown so accustomed to overwhelming their opponents with superior technology that they'd forgotten the most dangerous enemy was one that appeared weak but wasn't. "All hands, this is the captain," Chen announced over the ship-wide comm. "In 6 hours, we will engage the largest Zarkax fleet in this sector. They think we're prey, but today they'll learn that humanity is anything but weak. Every simulation, every test, every sleepless night has led to this moment. Trust in yourselves, trust in this ship, and trust in each other." As she ended the transmission, Chen caught her reflection in a darkened display panel. Her features were calm, but her eyes burned with intensity. The Challenger might look like an easy target, but inside its humble exterior lay humanity's greatest achievement, a weapon that could rewrite the rules of space warfare. "They're scanning us," Rivera reported. "Standard tactical sweep. They're not even using their deep penetration sensors." "Perfect," Chen replied. "Maintain current power signatures. Let them see exactly what they expect to see, an outdated human vessel trying desperately to escape. The hours ticked by as the Challenger continued its carefully choreographed retreat. The Zarkak's fleet followed, their formation spreading out to ensure their prey couldn't slip away. They had no reason to suspect that their quarry was deliberately leading them into the perfect firing position for a weapon they couldn't detect. The bridge of the HSS Challenger remained eerily quiet as the massive Zarkak's fleet drew closer, their sleek warships cutting through space like predatory fish in a cosmic ocean. Captain Chen watched their approach on the main viewer, her expression betraying none of the tension that coiled in her stomach. "Zarkak's flagship is hailing us," Lieutenant Rivera announced, breaking the silence. Chen straightened in her chair. On screen, the holographic display flickered to life, revealing the imposing figure of Fleet Commander Vexthor. His scaled skin shimmered with an iridescent blue-green hue, and his four eyes regarded Chen with unmistakable contempt. "Human vessel," he began, his translator converting his clicking speech into English. "Your persistence in evading us is futile. Your primitive ship cannot hope to escape. Surrender now, and we may spare your crew for study." Chen met his gaze steadily. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the HSS Challenger. We are a civilian research vessel. We pose no threat to your fleet." Vexthor's upper lip curled in what might have been amusement. "A research vessel? Our scans show you carrying weapon signatures, however ineffective they may be. Your species' attempts at deception are as primitive as your technology." Behind Chen, Commander Walsh discreetly signaled that the Cascade system was charged and ready. She acknowledged with an imperceptible nod. "Perhaps we could negotiate," Chen offered, allowing a hint of desperation to enter her voice. "We carry valuable scientific data." "The time for negotiations passed when your species refused to accept its proper place in the galaxy," Vexthor interrupted. "You will be an example to other races who think they can resist the Zarkak's dominion." The transmission cut off abruptly. Chen turned to her tactical officer. "Status of their fleet." "They're spreading out into attack formation," Walsh reported. "Multiple target locks on our position. They're taking their time, Captain. They want to savor this." "Cocky bastards," Lieutenant Santos muttered from her engineering station. Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Their overconfidence makes our job easier." "Time to target zone." 3 minutes at current speed," Rivera answered. "They're letting us maintain our retreat, probably planning to disable us with their first volley." The Challenger continued its apparent flight, its engines giving off the signature of a straining civilian vessel. In reality, the quantum drive was operating at barely 5% capacity, conserving power for what was to come. "All hands, battle stations," Chen ordered. "Prepare for Cascade activation on my mark." The Zarkak's fleet moved with practiced precision, their formation designed to trap their prey in a deadly crossfire. Their sensors remained focused on the Challenger's apparent weapon systems, conventional laser arrays and missile tubes that would be useless against their advanced shields. "They haven't detected the quantum signature," Santos confirmed. "Cascade containment fields are holding steady." Chen watched as the distance counter ticked down. The Challenger's apparent retreat had led the alien fleet exactly where they needed them, spread out in a perfect arc that would maximize the Cascade weapon's effectiveness. 30 seconds to optimal range, Walsh announced. "They're charging weapons." "Let them fire first," Chen ordered. "Time their shields going to full power." The space around them lit up as the Zarkak's fleet launched their first volley. Brilliant beams of energy streaked toward the Challenger, their targeting computers predicting an easy kill. "Shields at maximum," Santos called out. The impacts rocked the ship, but the reinforced quantum-enhanced hull held firm. "Now," Chen commanded, her voice sharp with authority. "Initiate Cascade sequence." Deep within the Challenger, the quantum drive's power output suddenly spiked. The ship's apparent weapons remained silent, but something far more devastating was about to be unleashed. "Cascade charging," Santos reported, her fingers flying over her console. "Quantum field stabilizing. Target lock confirmed on all 17 vessels." The Zarkak's fleet, still confident in their superiority, prepared for another volley. They had no way of knowing that their carefully maintained formation had placed them perfectly for humanity's greatest technological achievement. 5 seconds to cascade activation. Walsh counted down. 4, 3, 2. Chen gripped her armrests, her voice steady as she gave the final order. Fire. For a brief moment, space itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, without any visible beam or projectile, the quantum cascade began. The fabric of space-time rippled between the Challenger and the Zarkak's fleet as the cascade weapon fulfilled its purpose. The alien ships didn't even have time to register what was happening. Their shields, designed to stop conventional energy weapons and physical projectiles, were useless against an attack that targeted the very foundation of reality around their vessels. The quantum cascade effect propagated through their formation like a silent wave of destruction, turning their proud warships into twisted sculptures of metal and light. Direct hits confirmed, Walsh reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. Cascade effects spreading through their entire fleet. Their shields they're just gone, Captain. The quantum disruption is tearing their ships apart at the molecular level. Chen watched in silent amazement as humanity's greatest gambit paid off. The Zarkak's fleet, which had seemed so invincible moments ago, was being systematically unmade by forces they hadn't even known existed. Their mighty warships, including Vexthor's flagship, crumpled like paper in a fire, the quantum cascade reducing their advanced technology to its component atoms. The aftermath of the cascade weapons deployment left an eerie silence on the Challenger's bridge. Where moments before the space had been filled with the proud warships of the Zarkak's fleet, now only twisted debris hung in the void, shimmering with residual quantum energy. Damage assessment, Captain Chen ordered, her eyes fixed on the spectral display of destruction before them. Lieutenant Santos's voice was filled with barely contained awe. Cascade performed beyond projected parameters, Captain. The quantum field disruption was complete and uniform across all targets. 17 ships, neutralized in under 30 seconds. Any survivors? Chen asked, though she already suspected the answer. Commander Walsh consulted his tactical display, detecting multiple escape pods and emergency beacons. Approximately 300 survivors scattered across the engagement zone. The quantum effect spared their smaller vessels, just as our simulations predicted. Chen nodded slowly. The cascade weapon had been precisely calibrated to target ships above a certain mass, leaving smaller craft relatively unaffected. This wasn't just a weapon of war. It was a statement of humanity's technological sophistication and mercy. Open a channel to all frequencies, she commanded. Let's make sure our message is clear. The communication system crackled to life as Chen addressed the survivors of the Zarkak's fleet. This is Captain Chen of the HSS Challenger. Your fleet has been neutralized by human quantum cascade technology. We will begin rescue operations for your survivors immediately. Any attempt to resist will be met with force, but all who surrender will be treated according to interstellar conventions. The response was immediate. A cacophony of distress signals and surrender broadcasts from the scattered escape pods. The mighty Zarkaks, who had sneered at human technology just minutes ago, were now faced with irrefutable evidence of their miscalculation. Captain, Rivera called out, his voice urgent. I'm picking up a priority transmission from one of the intact pods. It's Fleet Commander Vexthor. Put him through, Chen ordered, straightening in her chair. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the Zarkak's commander. His earlier arrogance had vanished, replaced by a mixture of shock and grudging respect. Captain Chen, he began, his translator struggling to convey the complex emotions in his voice. It seems we greatly underestimated your species' capabilities. A common mistake, Chen replied evenly, one that has proven costly for your people. The weapon you used. It defies all known principles of combat technology. How did you manage to keep such an advancement secret? Chen allowed herself a small smile. Perhaps your species needs to reconsider its definition of primitive, Commander. Rescue ships are en route. I suggest you use this time to reflect on the assumptions that led you here. As the transmission ended, the bridge crew of the Challenger began coordinating rescue operations. The ship's quantum drive hummed quietly, its power now diverted to maintaining stability in the aftermath of the Cascade deployment. Message from Fleet Command, Captain, Rivera announced. They're absolutely ecstatic. The Cascade weapon's performance exceeded every projection. They're calling it a revolution in space warfare. Chen rose from her chair, walking to the viewport where she could see the scattered debris of what had once been the pride of the Zarkak's fleet. It's more than that, Lieutenant. Today we didn't just win a battle. We changed the rules of engagement entirely. The implications were staggering. The Challenger's success would reshape the balance of power throughout known space. Humanity, long dismissed as technological primitives by the galaxy's dominant species, had just demonstrated a level of scientific advancement that would force every spacefaring race to reevaluate their assumptions. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, Captain Walsh reported. Rescue vessels and support craft from the Fifth Fleet. They'll begin recovery operations for the Zarkak's survivors. Chen watched as human ships approached the scattered escape pods, their actions now marked by confidence rather than the desperate determination of past encounters. The Cascade weapon had done more than destroy an enemy fleet. It had shattered the myth of human inferiority. Send our combat data to Fleet Command, she ordered. Every second of it. The rest of the fleet needs to understand exactly what the Cascade system can do. As the rescue operations continued, Chen couldn't help but think of the long journey that had led to this moment. Years of being underestimated, of watching human colonies fall to technologically superior forces, had driven humanity to push the boundaries of physics itself. The Challenger and its quantum Cascade weapon were the results of that determination, proof that necessity and innovation could overcome any technological gap. Message from the Admiralty, Captain, Rivera announced. They're asking about the Cascade system's status. They want to know if we're ready for another demonstration. Chen turned to face her crew, seeing in their expressions the same mix of pride and purpose that she felt. Tell them the Challenger stands ready. The galaxy's about to learn that humanity is done being underestimated. News of the Challenger's victory spread across human space at FTL speeds, faster than even the quantum communications could carry it. Within days, the name of the ship that had single-handedly destroyed a Zarkak's battle fleet became legend. Captain Chen found herself standing in the Grand Chamber of the Earth Defense Council, surrounded by the most powerful military and political leaders of humanity. The Cascade weapon's effectiveness exceeded our most optimistic projections. Admiral Harrison declared, his weathered face displaying rare enthusiasm as he addressed the assembled officials. The Challenger's success has fundamentally altered the strategic landscape. Chen stood at attention, aware of the countless eyes fixed upon her. Through the chamber's vast windows, she could see the gleaming spires of New Geneva reaching toward the sky, a testament to humanity's resilience after decades of alien aggression. The Zarkak's diplomatic corps has requested immediate negotiations, Secretary General Wang announced, her voice carrying across the hushed chamber. They're calling it a reassessment of interspecies relations, quite a change from their previous stance on human civilization. They're scared, Commander Walsh observed from his position beside Chen. The quantum Cascade technology doesn't just threaten their military superiority, it challenges their entire worldview. The gathered leaders murmured in agreement. Holographic displays showed the Cascade weapon's effects from multiple angles, the silent destruction of the Zarkak's fleet playing out again and again. What looked like simple disintegration to the naked eye was, in fact, a revolutionary manipulation of quantum fields that rendered conventional defenses obsolete. The surviving Zarkak's crews have been surprisingly cooperative, Chen reported, particularly Fleet Commander Vexthor. He's provided valuable insights into their military structure and technological capabilities. No doubt hoping to curry favor, Admiral Harrison grunted. But his information confirms what we suspected. The Zarkaks have no defense against Cascade technology. None of the major powers do. The implications hung heavy in the air. Humanity, long forced to play catch-up in the galactic arena, had leapfrogged ahead in one crucial area. The quantum cascade weapon represented a paradigm shift in space warfare, one that couldn't be easily countered. "We've received messages from 12 other spacefaring species," Secretary Wong continued. "They're all requesting diplomatic talks. Some are offering technology exchanges, trade agreements, even military alliances. The same races that wouldn't give us the time of day a week ago." Chen thought back to the moment of the cascade weapons deployment, the split second when everything changed. "We shouldn't let this go to our heads," she cautioned. "The Challenger's success proves we can compete on the galactic stage, but arrogance is what led to the Zarkak's defeat. We shouldn't make the same mistake." "Well said, Captain," Admiral Harrison nodded approvingly. "Which is why the Defense Council has approved an expansion of the Challenger program. 5 more ships will be constructed, incorporating the lessons learned from your engagement." The announcement sent a ripple of excitement through the chamber. 5 more quantum cascade-equipped vessels would ensure humanity's security and cement their new position in the galactic order. "There's more," Secretary Wong added. "The Council has decided to establish a new diplomatic initiative. We'll be sharing limited aspects of quantum technology with peaceful alien civilizations, under strict controls. The goal is to foster cooperation rather than competition." Chen understood the strategy. By selectively sharing their breakthrough, humanity could build alliances and prevent the formation of hostile coalitions motivated by fear of the cascade weapon. "The Challenger will lead this initiative," Admiral Harrison declared. "Your ship and crew have earned the right to shape humanity's new role in the galaxy. The quantum cascade technology was born from our determination to survive. Now it will help us thrive." As the meeting continued, Chen's thoughts drifted to her crew aboard the Challenger, running diagnostics and preparing for their next mission. They had proven that humanity's perceived weakness, their reliance on innovation over brute force, was actually their greatest strength. "The Zarkak's representatives will arrive next week," Secretary Wong was saying. "They're expecting a demonstration of our commitment to peaceful coexistence." "They'll get one," Chen assured her. "The Challenger stands ready to show the galaxy that humanity's advancement doesn't have to come at the cost of our principles." Outside, the sun was setting over New Geneva, casting long shadows across the rebuilt city. Humanity had endured decades of being underestimated, of fighting against seemingly insurmountable odds. Now, thanks to the quantum cascade technology and the crew of one supposedly weak warship, the future held unlimited possibilities. "Tomorrow we begin planning the diplomatic mission," Admiral Harrison concluded. "The galaxy is watching, waiting to see what humanity will do with its newfound power. Captain Chen, your actions showed them our strength. Now it's time to show them our wisdom." 3 months after the Challenger's historic victory, Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, watching as ships from a dozen different species moved through the bustling space lanes. The massive diplomatic hub, newly constructed in neutral space, served as a symbol of the changing galactic order, one where humanity now stood as equals among the stars. The HSS Challenger floated serenely among the diverse collection of vessels, its unassuming profile belying its revolutionary capabilities. Chen could see alien diplomats and officials casting curious glances at the ship through the station's panoramic windows, their expressions a mixture of respect and apprehension. "Still admiring your handiwork, Captain," Commander Walsh's familiar voice carried across the deck. He joined her at the window, hands clasped behind his back. "Admiring the changes," she replied, gesturing to a Zarkak's diplomatic vessel gliding past. Its sleek hull bore newly added insignia indicating its peaceful mission, a small but significant shift from their previously militant stance. "The latest reports from the Quantum Technology Sharing Initiative are promising," Walsh reported. 3 species have already begun implementing the basic principles in civilian applications, medical technology primarily. Turns out our primitive approach to quantum mechanics has applications beyond weapons. Chen nodded, remembering the countless hours humanity's scientists had spent developing the Cascade system. What had begun as a desperate attempt to level the military playing field had evolved into something far more significant, a key to understanding the fundamental forces of the universe itself. Captain Chen, a melodious voice interrupted. They turned to find Orcs, the Meridian ambassador, approaching with characteristic grace. The crystalline being's form sparkled in the starlight. The council session will begin shortly. Your presence is requested for the technology exchange discussions. Thank you, Ambassador, Chen replied. The Meridians, once distant observers of human affairs, had become eager partners in the new era of cooperation. Their expertise in crystal matrices had proved invaluable in refining the Cascade technology for peaceful applications. As they made their way to the council chambers, Chen observed the station's diverse inhabitants. Humans worked alongside aliens at every level, their previous status as technological inferiors forgotten in the wake of the quantum revolution. The Challenger's demonstration had done more than win a battle. It had shattered centuries of prejudice and preconception. The council chamber itself was a marvel of collaborative engineering, incorporating architectural elements from all major spacefaring species. At its center, a holographic display showed the latest successful test of a quantum-enhanced medical scanner, technology that could save millions of lives across the galaxy. The quantum cascade effect, when properly tuned, can restructure matter at the subatomic level, Lieutenant Santos was explaining to a group of alien scientists. The applications extend far beyond military use. We're just beginning to understand its potential. Fleet Commander Vexthor, now serving as the Zarkak's diplomatic liaison, caught Chen's eye from across the chamber. He inclined his head slightly, a gesture of respect that would have been unthinkable just months ago. The former adversary had become one of the strongest advocates for continued cooperation between species. We have received word from the outer colonies, Secretary Wang announced as the session began. The quantum shield network is operational. For the first time in our history, all human settlements are secure from external threats. The announcement drew appreciative murmurs from the assembled delegates. The defensive application of Cascade technology had transformed humanity's vulnerable colonies into protected havens, ensuring that no species could ever again threaten them with impunity. The Challenger begins its goodwill tour next week, Admiral Harrison added, visiting every major system in the Alliance, demonstrating our commitment to sharing knowledge and fostering understanding. Chen felt a surge of pride as she looked at her assembled crew. They had evolved from warriors to ambassadors, their ship from a weapon of last resort to a symbol of unity. The quantum cascade technology, born from humanity's desperate need to survive, had become a bridge between civilizations. The galaxy is changing, she addressed the council, not through force or fear, but through the recognition that every species has something valuable to contribute. Humanity's journey from perceived weakness to strength has taught us the importance of perspective, of looking beyond surface appearances to see true potential. As the session continued, Chen's thoughts drifted to the future. The Challenger's success had opened countless doors, not just for humanity, but for all species willing to embrace cooperation over conflict. The quantum technology that had once seemed like humanity's last hope had become a catalyst for unprecedented growth and understanding. We're receiving requests from previously uncontacted species, Walsh whispered, showing her a datapad. They've heard about the quantum technology sharing initiative. They want to join the Alliance. Chen smiled, remembering the day when humanity had been the outsiders, desperately seeking recognition among the stars. Now they stood at the center of a growing network of civilizations, bound together by shared knowledge and mutual respect. Outside the station's windows, the eternal dance of ships continued, a testament to the new era of cooperation. The HSS Challenger, once mocked as a weak human vessel, had become a legend. But its greatest victory wasn't in destroying an enemy fleet. It was in helping to build a future where such conflicts might never again be necessary. As the council session drew to a close, Chen gazed out at the stars, their light unchanged yet somehow brighter in this new dawn. Humanity had proven that true strength lay not in domination, but in the courage to extend a hand in friendship, even to former enemies. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what they had hoped to achieve.